Emily, thanks for coming back on.
Thanks for having me.
So fun to have you here.
Thank you.
You've moved since I've seen you last to Pensacola. I mean, you're just like all over the place.
Big move.
Yeah.
It's a big move. Yeah.
So great.
I'm glad to be there.
Okay, so I feel like you're just like an expert in so many areas of just like organizing our lives.
That's so sweet.
Right?
Thank you.
No, you are. Like that's like what Emily Ley is known for.
Yeah.
Okay, so during this holiday season, I feel like a lot of people get very overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. And in your story, personally, you kind of hit this breaking point, this wall.
Yeah.
And I just want to know a little bit about that because it caused you to write your new book, which we'll talk about in a second.
It did. And, I think a lot of times the holidays can be a catalyst for burnout where we overcommit, we do so many things, we pack our schedules, we often feel like we're missing out if we're not doing everything. And then we get to the new year and a lot of us want a big change. And that was me. Mm-hmm. The end of last year, I just hit a point where I said, I'm so tired. Mm. And I was seeing it in my children. I was even seeing it in our customers, our friends, just this underlying tone of everyone feeling really tired, like burned out and overwhelmed. And I, at that time, actually sat down to write this book and spent a good few weeks looking at my life and saying, what can I turn the noise down on? Our lives are just so crammed full and everything is so loud. And I just decided to look at things and say, what can I have less of to live a life that's more?
Yeah, so good, so good. And so obviously the book, it's on sale now, which is amazing. So where can people pick up the book?
Everywhere books are sold.
Okay.
Everywhere.
Guys, make sure to check this out. And you hit on so many topics just in life.
Yeah.
But you focus a lot on technology and social media, which I think is so fascinating. Okay, so with technology, you turn down the noise of that specifically. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so give us some tips, some things that you've done in that area that's helped you.
Well, I started to realize that when I got off of social media, I got off of social media for 30 days to write this book. And when I got off of it, I started to realize that social media and technology weren't necessarily my problem. My problem was my habit of going to it and saying, I'm either bored or I'm really busy and need a break. Entertain me. Like, let me see something new, something new, something new. And that constant need for that noise, it wasn't healthy for me. And I don't think it's healthy for a lot of people. And so I just started doing some really tactical things like turning off every notification on your phone. Did you know you can do that?
Like you don't have to be alerted at all.
I've had this conversation with so many people that are like, I've never thought of it. And I hadn't either.
So funny. Can I tell you, like, I even like updated my weather app.
Yes.
This is such a silly example.
Yeah.
And it automatically turned on the notification and it literally like would notify me like, it's about to rain.
All the time.
And it's just like, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have got to turn this off. But it's like anything will notify you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I turned all the notifications off. I started looking at noise in our home, like, do we constantly have the TV running in the background? Or, when we're in the cars, there's just like loud music when people are trying to talk. And just looking at all of life and saying, how can we just like hit the brakes and turn down the noise a little bit so that we can really enjoy the good stuff? Because we miss it when there's so much else going on.
Yes.
Modern life, right?
Totally. So with technology, like I want to know your life after you've done these things. Because I hear this and I'm like, oh, that's so good. Like if I implemented this in my life, like what does it feel like? Like do you feel like, is there freedom? Like do you feel this weight almost lifted off?
I feel like there's so much freedom in it when we say, I'm going to pump the brakes and like take inventory and look around at everything being too loud, too busy, too fast-paced, too much. There's so much freedom. And we don't have to live life that way.
Yeah.
I think modern technology and, modern advances and all these ways that we've tried to make life better and easier, they've often made it a little bit more complicated. And we haven't taken the step back to say, whoa, I'm not just going to, let these things into my life. I'm going to be proactive about technology, about social media, about my own health and wellness, about getting rest and things like that so that I can be the best version of me.
Yes, that's so good. So social media, you've touched on this a little bit, but you went through kind of a social media purge. You went off of it for 30 days to write the book. And then you also went through and unfollowed a bunch of people, right?
Yeah.
Like you were kind of picky and selective.
Even
of like,
friends.
Right? Yeah. Okay, so tell me about that. Like what was your filter? What was your mindset when you were doing that?
Well, I think because I've built a business on social media and I use it so much for our brand, we would follow people we thought we had to, or I would follow accounts I felt like I needed to. And, slowly built up hundreds, if not thousands of people that I was allowing into my heart. And there's that verse about guard your heart, for it's the wellspring of life. I kept coming back to that and saying, I need to be careful with social media, especially with kids and having kids that are going to come up into it, exemplifying, guard your heart in all of these ways and only allow in what you want to pour out. And so I unfollowed so many different accounts, good accounts too.
Sure.
And just limited it to say, when I go to my phone and I'm looking at social media, how can I let it be a place of positivity to put in what I want to pour out?
So
and
good.
it's so freeing, but it takes stopping and saying, oh, I can do that. I don't have to follow 1,000 people. And my personal Facebook, I also just had a ton of friends there and finally decided to set the rule and say, if you get a Christmas card from me, we'll be personal friends on Facebook. It's like it's the litmus test,
Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
I have my litmus test of when I say like, oh yeah, we're really good friends. I'm like, but do I have their cell phone number?
Okay, that's a good one.
That's my test. I'm like, do I have your cell phone number? If I have your cell phone number, I'll consider you a friend.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. But I love this whole approach because you said it earlier, but it is true. It's like you're being proactive about your life. We talk about being proactive with your money on here all the time by doing a budget, being purposeful with your spending, but with your time, technology, your social media, like it can happen to you so quickly. And you look up and it's been a year, right? And you look, or whatever it is, and you're like, wow, it's been a lot of time.
A lot of time.
Where I haven't been the one in control.
Right. Or it's been an hour and I've been scrolling through pictures of who knows what,
And half the people we don't even know.
We don't know.
Right? I know. Right. It's crazy. It's so crazy. Okay, so again, the holidays are here. Yeah. So I know this is a time for me, having little kids and I'm an extrovert, so I'm like, I love all the parties, I love all the things. But it is so exhausting. It is trying to like do all the Santa meet and greets, and you're doing the parades. There's so much to do. So what do you do? What's your advice to say, okay, how can we have less and actually end up having more because of that and during the holiday season, just even with schedules?
Well, I think it's twofold. I think before the holiday season starts, now is the perfect time to sit down and say, what are the 3 things we want to do? What are the 3 memories that we want to make so that, come January, we look back and say, I'm so glad we went and drove around and saw Christmas lights, or we went and saw Santa, or whatever it was. Also, I think personally, I've often looked at what's the biggest and the best and the flashiest fun Christmas thing because my kids need it and we got to do it. Because we got to get the picture to post on social media or whatever it is.
Right.
But like when I look back at my life with my kids who are 8 and then I have 2 4-year-olds, when I look back at it now, my favorite holiday memories are baking cookies in the kitchen, even if they're slice and bake, whatever, or decorating the Christmas tree together or watching a Christmas movie. They aren't always the things that we feel like, oh, gotta do that,
that's
this
the big
holiday
thing.
season.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think that's so true. I'm like, when it is almost more low-key, there's less stress.
Way less
You're
stress.
way more present. There's just more peace.
Totally.
And quietness and more like, as a parent,
right.
more control over your environment.
And it happens in the margin. I feel like one of the things I learned most through this kind of experiment that I did was that when we allow margin to exist in our lives, it will fill itself up. And it'll fill itself up with the good stuff, not the stress of getting all the things done, doing all the things. I could talk about this for days because it was just life-changing to say, hey, world, I'm not going to live the way you're telling me to. I don't have to.
Yes. And your life is just so much more fulfilling.
So much more. It's a journey. It's definitely every day something I have to remind myself of and say, be flexible with it, but always have it in the back of your head that more isn't always better,
So good.
Yeah.
Well, you're fantastic.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
So great. Again, you guys, when less becomes more, Emily Ley, make sure to check it out.